Lamed Daled Amud Aleph. 4 lines from the top. We'll review a little bit the first case. Eisin Eskaven Lishbeit B'Shus Rav Enich Eruva B'Kaisel. So he intends to acquire his place in Rishus Rav, and then he places the challah in the kosel. Lamata me'asar tefachim eruva erev. It's below 10, so everyone shares a common domain that it's all good. L'mayla miut tefachim ein eruva erev. But if it's above 10, where the erev is in Rishus HaYachid and he has set his abode in Rishus HaRabim, well, we already established that becomes a problem, and we also added in that the 4 amos apart. That where you were is 4 amos away, because then you'd otherwise apply Rav's principle of being kind of shvisa. You have Dalet Amos, and you would have been good to go. But here you're not, because it's again like the tree case. You're 4 amos away. So now let's get into this one. This is where we left off. The skavin lishva is barosh hashavich barosh hamigdol. You intend to acquire your abode on the top of the dove coat, on top of the closet. So if it's above 10 tfachim, where the erev is so you're on top of there, and then you put the erev above 10 tfachim, which makes you and the erev in the same domain, namely Rishus HaYachid. You're both in Rishus HaYachid, Eruv erev. If you put it below 10 tfachim, then ein eruv erev. Okay, so if you're not in the same domain, it's not an erev. Now, why is that true on this last case of the closet and the dovecoat? Why is your erev not an erev? Hachinami, use Rabbi Yirmiyah's logic. Right? Why can't you move the chest down and lower it into an area lower than 10? Right? Instead of having it high, make it low. Right there, you see that imaginary flat chest lying flat on the ground as opposed to lying upright, and by being able to tilt it, right, and you really never really move the closet, you just tilted it down where now it's on the ground. So since I could do that theoretically and move it below 10 tfachim, why would the erev not be valid? Why is it different than leaning the box, leaning the basket, right? Where I put the basket below 10, it's the exact same scenario, and yet the Brisa seems to say it wouldn't work. So why not? So the answer would be, Rav Yirmiyah himself would answer, this was an earthquake equipped closet, okay, that you nailed it into the wall.
How many people are going to know what an earthquake equipped closet is?
Well, hopefully the people in this room will. Okay, so it's nailed into the wall. Look at that. You see, Mamish looks like he's got that little bolt there. Yeah.
True value hardware.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not going to tilt that over with any ease, and I guess the idea of doing a whole ganze construction job that would involve other problems. So we're not choshish for that.
Saying that if you were not in an earthquake area and you could move the.
Well, I just threw that in just for.
No, what I'm saying. So if you didn't have that bracket there,
then it would be good. Then the taka would work. It would be no different than the basket. By the yeah. So that's one answer. And Rav Amar.
Do you yourself have to be able to move that thing?
I think it has to be moved, able to be moved. Somebody. I mean, I don't know if you need Bobo Brazil to come in and move it, but just anybody who's maybe if you're very weak, but then the typical person can do it. Yeah, I think if it becomes really uniquely problematic, that might be a problem. But if a regular guy can do it, maybe you can't, but a regular guy could. I think that'd be good enough. Okay, that's one answer. Rav Amar fil tema migdal shedim esummer. I'll tell you, even if you don't have to come up with this whole bracket with the sockets, with the nails and the ganze maisa, I can still give you another reason why you can't use that answer and why the erev is not good. Fil tema migdal shedim esummer v'acha migdal aruch haskil. Talking about a long closet. This is not. This was a Will Chamberlain built closet. Okay, so it's way up there. The mamtle porta, because if you decide to bend it over, okay, what's going to happen? Azul chutzar ba'amos. Okay, it's going to go outside the Dalet Amos, and therefore you can't move it from its original place, and going outside Dalaramis will be prohibited.
But if you did it at twilight, does that matter?
Well, yes, it would matter. Let's see. Okay, because what are you really doing? You're taking something from a rishus hayachid, or let's see. You definitely, let's say, even from one place rishus ram, you're carrying it to a place outside rishus ram for amas.
You didn't pick it up.
Right, but
there's no carrying here.
Well, who says you don't care? If you're moving it from its original space in one area, and then you're going to take it outside.
Carrying is you have to pick it up, you have to move it someplace, and you have to set it.
Okay, let's see. So, okay, let's hold off here. Let's do the Rashis till this point. Okay, did we do any Rashis yesterday? I don't. Oh, yeah. So let's see here. So we got the Rashi. Where do we leave off? Niskavein, right?
Yeah.
Niskavein. Okay.
Where is that?
That is 4 lines before it gets wide. Okay, 5 lines before it gets wide. Niskavein lishbais shvas rosh hamigdal. If you intend to rest your abode on top of a closet, v'hu gavoya harbe, and it's very tall. V'nich eruv l'tocho. Okay, and you want to put your eruv there. You put your Eruv in the closet. Okay, so we're gonna have, I think, 2 pshatim here. So okay, let's just learn. If you put it above 10, Eruv Eruv. Even though you can't take it from the place where you put it and bring it to where you are, and right, because basically where you are is Rishus Hayachid, where the Eruv is Rishus Hayachid, but aren't you going to be taken from you're going to pass it from one place to another place Rishus Hayachid through Rishus Rabim? And we already said, remember we said the idea of Hoshata, of passing, you can't pass something, you can, maybe you can carry it, but you can't, in other words, maybe you can throw it, but certainly you're passing it through Rishus Rabim, even though typically going from one Rishus Yachid to another Rishus Yachid is not a problem. You're going to go through the airspace of Rishus Rabim, it is a problem. Okay, and we established that when you pass something over, even if you pass it over above 10, if it's over the airspace of Rishus Rabim, that's a problem. And here, that's what you're doing in this case. If you want to access the Eruv, but it's not a problem because you can just go down and eat it in the place that it's placed. Because since it's above 10, have a kumokum shvisaso mamish. It's like your actual dwelling place. The cholomal me'asara ad l'rikia chad rishusi, because above 10 to the sky is 1 rishus. Okay. I think he's going to switch pshatim here, but this is okay. So he seems to be learning that you place your Eruv in the closet. You're also Rishus Yachid by the wall. I guess I don't know why. I mean, so what's the wall? What do you need the wall here for?
Isn't the wall where you put the bread in the wall?
Right, that's the part. This pshat seems to be learning differently. Okay, so bottom line is let's just right now in this case where it's l'mayla miyud, however you learn, the bottom line is I can access it. Why can I access it? Because I have a right to go up there. I can go from one Rishus Yachid to another and eat it right where it is. So there's no need for me to have to do anything prohibited, and so therefore it's a good Eruv. If the chal is above 10 and the makom shvis is above 10, then it's good, because apparently Rashi seems to be saying because I can go and eat the challah there and it's fine. Lamata miyud gon sheish aliyos lemigdal zu. There are steps to this closet. Zulamayla mizu, like levels. V'nicha balia shilamata and I put it on the level and I guess on the shelf that's below 10. The vikarmelis, which this would make it a karmelis, ein eruv eruv. Okay, then I cannot access it. The lo motzi l'mishkele me'ahu karmelis v'isuye l'rosh hamigdal. I can't.
He has a picture right here.
What? Yeah. Okay. So you're on top of the. I don't know. This shot moves away from the wall. Like it seems like everything is being self-contained in the closet as opposed to dealing with the wall and the closet. But okay, I think the results are pretty much the same. The lumdus is still the same. That if I'm on top of that closet and I put the challah below, okay, I can't access it because I'm going to be going from a karmelis to a shus hayochad. What about the fact that you can do it in Ben Hashmos? Let's see Rashi.
Because you're taking it out of the shelf, going into the Avarishus Rabbah.
Okay, fine, but it's still going from a karmelis though. So let's see. The lomotz mishkema hu karmelis vasila rosh hamigdal sheshove sham mishum avrishus ram, because of the airspace the mamtlei derech avrishus ram shus yachid. Okay, where I'm going from the airspace of I'm going from a karmelis to Rishus Yachid through the airspace of Rishus Ram. V'nochis v'yochalei hosam nafik le'makom shvisaso. Okay, and if you go and eat it there, out of its place of abode of an ansuda haruya mibojom mkom mabinon, you need to be able to eat it where it was placed. I can't go out of my domain to get to it. So I can't bring it to myself because I'm taking it through Rishus Harabim.
Why are you calling it Rishus Harabim? Why isn't it a karmelis?
Because if you see that little line on the bottom there, the place where it's on is Rishus Harabim. So I got to access the aleph, the airspace of Rishus Harabim, to get to the top. Okay, I think they say over here that basically, even though we said before that I'm able to do it, one rabbinic like theoretical carrying would be okay. Here, I think they want to learn that there's like a double because I have to be able to move it. So I have to myself go.
Yeah, that's what Hard Scroll says. Well, each of these potentially may be used individually. We do not combine them in order to arrive at a lenient ruling. However, see Rashba and
Yeah. So it's okay. So therefore, if it's below, so there are too many theoretical scenarios that I have to be able to then go out of my domain and eat it. Yes. In other words, to take it to you is problematic. To go to it is also problematic because to go to it, I started Rosh Yachid, and now I have to be able to eat it in the karmelis, and that's also not acceptable because I have to be able to eat it in the same domain that I was. I can't go to another domain to access my Eruv.
Isn't that a problem with just makom shvisa? You're not eating it where your makom shvisa is on top. That's where you're living, and you need to be able to eat it where you're living. But if you go down, you're not eating it where you're living anymore.
Right. So you're right. You're in a different.
It's not that you're carrying it. It's not that you're going through different rishuyos. It's just you're in the wrong place.
Well, yeah. It's not to carry it. Correct. It's when I say you're going through different rishuyos means you're going to a different place where you are to be able to access the Eruv, and you can't go to a different type. In the earlier case, when it was above 10, you're going to the same Rishus HaYachid. So even if you bring it to you, you can. Or if you go to it, you can do that because you were in Rishus Yachid and you still are in Rishus Yachid.
But that's because it's within your Arba Amos. It's not.
Well, no, the problem is you don't move. The closet doesn't move.
Makom Shisaso is you have Arba Amos, so if it's within your Arba Amos, then you're eating it within your Makom Shisaso. But it seems here like it's saying that it's not. I assume that it's more than Arba Amos.
Right, it is more than Arba Amos.
So you need to get it down.
No, when you get it down, it's more than Arba Amos. So you need two things here.
Or maybe your Makom Shisaso is not up and
You
down.
need to tilt it. You don't really tilt it, but theoretically, I could have tilted it. So therefore, I
can't tilt it. That's the one with the bracket.
Yeah, but remove the bracket. So the problem here is you have to tilt it and you have to be within a dollar Amos of this thing. So that's two things combined in order to make this thing work.
Right.
It's all theoretical. It's not that you actually tilted.
let's finish the Rashis. I think whatever it's. Yeah, let's finish the Rashis. I think we're all saying good stuff. No, I mean it's all accurate what you're saying, but I think Rashi's going to move to something a little bit different. So why in the case where we're below 10, where you say you can't access it because you're above 10 and the Erev is below 10, you can move the closet and lean it, and throw it down to where it's below 10. So now the place where I was, which is on top of the closet, has now moved itself from one place to the other. And there I'll be able to take it from a carmelis, and I can eat it where I am. Because here they didn't make a gzera just to use one right. It's not a double case here. It's just one case. It's one scenario of going from a carmelis to a rishus, from a rishus ram to a carmelis, or a carmelis to a rishus ram. The ala karcha Rebbe since perforce this brisa must follow Rebbe. Midatani reishin yach eruv b'koisel mata me'asara eruv erev. As it says in the Reisha, if you put your erev in a wall below 10. It's a good Erev. Right? Even though the Erev, he's Rishus Rab and the Erev is in a Carmelis, it works. Must be we're dealing with Rebbe's mindset. If it was Rebbe's mindset, then only one rabbinic problem will not be an issue for us. Okay, so why, since you don't do that, since you don't imagine the closet having fallen, must be...
And the closet is a Carmelis, right? The closet itself is a Carmelis? That's what we're saying. That
if it's below 10, it's a carmelis. If it's above 10, then it'll be Rishus HaYachid. By lowering you're not made into a carmelis. When it was above 10, it was Rishus HaYachid, because it was 4x4 above 10. Now that you've lowered it, you made it into a carmelis.
So, but you're taking something that's Rishus HaYachid and moving it into Rishus HaRabim, though. If the part above 10 is Rishus HaYachid,
but it still takes on its own domain because it's its own entity.
But right, so the whole Himigdal has to be a Carmelis.
Well, yes, no.
Even if it's above 10, the Migdal itself, not the food.
The Migdal itself would be above 10 Rishus Yach. If you have a big beam, we said you have an Amid Rishus Rabim. If it's 4x4 above 10, it's Rishus Yachid.
So if it's below 10.
If it's below 10, then it's a carmelis, right?
If you have a stump, a tree stump,
well,
that's below 10.
If it's 4x4, below 10 is a carmelis, unless it's used by people to rest on, in which case it's Rishus Rabim. As you said in the case of 9, when you're resting on it, but if it's...
But also if you use it to rest things on it. The tree stump could be used...
yeah.
The plaza would be used for resting things. I mean, obviously resting chal on it. So
what's your question?
I don't think it's a carmelis.
If it's 4x4 less than 10 is a carmelis. If it's less than
things on it?
What? I just said unless you're putting things on it.
Well, we are.
Well, but it has to be something that the Rabbin would rest on. It's got to be what the
challah doesn't count as
no. One challah wouldn't count. It's got to be like people who walk by use their backpacks and put their backpacks on the thing that I mean, if it's exactly positioned up, that would be one thing.
Let's go back to his question.
Why? Oh, yes.
Your question. That's
yes.
It hasn't been
Please
answered
do. Yes,
yet.
thank you.
Go ahead. What's your question?
Your question is how you're allowed to do that?
Ask your question.
The top part of the Migdal is a Rishus HaYachid, and you're moving it into Rishus HaRabim.
Right.
And I don't understand how to do that.
Well, yeah, but you're not. It's staying its own domain. It was standing before Rishus Rabim, but it takes on its own identity. So why shouldn't it take on its own identity still? When it's I mean, let's see the Gemara's answer, because in a sense, what you're saying is a little bit the Gemara's answer. Let's see. So answer number 1 is B'migdal HaMesumar. To Kuel Mismaris B'Kaisel, it was nailed into the wall, lintos, and you can't lean it. Okay. That's one answer. So that takes care of the whole thing, because there's no theoretics over here, because it's nailed. If it's nailed, it's not movable. If it's not movable, forget your whole thought. Or, second answer, Migdal Aruch, Harbe Yosim Dalanamos. It itself is much taller than Dalanamos. Therefore, what's an the chimamtil el migdal ad havi rosh sholomat miyud. By the time you tilt the top, that it's more than 4, that it's below 10 tfachim, as you see that line that goes across, that's your 10 tfachim line. So get the top of the migdal to the point where it's below 10. Okay, nafik rosh chutz dalamis mimokum shoya mimokum one more time. The chimamte lemigdal adav rosh lamate miyud. Right, to get to that point where you're leaning it over till the top of it is below 10. You are now moving it more than 4 amas from where it was originally. Okay, so if you measure from the place where it now dips below 10 to the place where it was on top, okay, you will be going more than dalan amas. So who cares? So now you want to go from where you are to where the theoretical migdal is going to be leaning over, you're going to have to go more than dalan amas. So it never, now it's not in the place where you meant. You have to move it too far. You can't move it out of your dalan amas to get it to be accessible. So you're going to have to move the challah further than where it was to be able to access it, and that's not acceptable. And that,
Wait a second. Can I just slow down some? Okay, it's twilight, right? And we talked about leaning it past the 4 dalan amas. So therefore, it's accessible. You're making it now a permissible place to access it. The dalan amas, is that really relevant? Because you've changed where it is, and by the time Shabbos really comes in, you've established it. Am I missing? What am I
well,
missing?
again, the whole point is why, if I'm above 10, if the challah is above 10, in this case we just have to. He makes him. He's in the tower and the challah is in the tower. But the point is, in order to make and the question was. And I'm below. Again, I'm below, and the challah is above. So, in order for me to access that challah, I'm going to have to move the challah 4 amas from where it was originally, and that's a problem. I can't, because now it's going to be out of its original domain. It's not where it was, where it started.
So if I put it on the other instead of putting it on the top shelf, I put it on a lower shelf.
Well, where it is
that's
there.
higher than 10. No, not where it is now.
You want it higher than
I want it higher than 10. But when I tilt it over, it's less than dalan amas.
Well, okay, well then that would be good.
That would be good.
But the scenario was that you put it in a place where in order to access it, it needs to be moved dalan amas.
That's the whole problem.
Right,
Words,
right,
if
no,
I
well-
put it on a shelf, when I tilt it, it's less than dalan amas, it's a good Eruv.
Well, that's like the
I mean,
basket.
if it's standing above 10, then it changes it also, because then you're in.
It is above 10.
Then you're in Shabbos.
So you're leaving the challah
Right, so
above
that
10,
doesn't
right?
seem to bother.
I'm
Right.
gonna put it above 10, but when I
That's
tilt
no
it, no, it's.
Okay, so let's.
When I tilt it, it's less than 4. Huh?
It-
No, because the basket case,
We were moving the back.
you know, right, but the dalan amas isn't a problem.
Right. Oh, okay.
Here, the dalan amas is a problem. So if you have it on one of those other shelves down there, when you tilt this thing down, it's going to be within the dalan amas, but higher than 10 when it starts.
Right, like
Oh,
in that picture.
so
Put
let-
it up one.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue because I really want to get to the second shot. Now, the Ika Kafsa Missa. So let's just read that little. I left 2 lines out before we got to the 2 dots. Okay, we got to wrap this up before tomorrow. So Ika. So let's go back to the Gemara for a minute. So the Gemara says, "Well, wait a minute. It's still not a. I don't see the problem. Even though you made it very long and you extended it 4 amas. Ika Kafsa Misna. If you have a window and you have a rope." Where you can sort of do a little lassoing and pull the ropes attached to the challah. Why can't you just pull the challah, okay, through the window, which like the opening through to the top, and that would be good. Vika kafsa misa kafsa chaloin. Right? Look, so now go. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so why isn't that an option? Reading the Gemara, idika kafsa misa leisa bekafsa. Let's bring it with the window and the rope, and the answer is the less law kafsu misna. You don't have a rope, you don't have a window. It's not the case. It wasn't accessible that way, and therefore it's not an option. Okay.
With the window with the rope, you pull it up.
Yeah, you would
It's
be
not
able
there
to.
anyway. So
Right. So had it been there, I would have been able to pull it up. If I would have been able to pull it up, it would have been good. Can you pass some milk, please? It would have been good, and therefore, why wouldn't that be an option of being able to pull it to you? Since while the challah is sitting in rishus harabim, which is below 10, but if there's a rope connecting you to above 10, I'd be able to pull it to myself, wouldn't I? So let's look at Rashi. V'yika kafsa misna, kafsa chaloin, kafsa is a window, misna chaval, chevel, and a misna is a rope. Imarucha brosha migdal, Imaruba brosha migdal, if there's an opening, a skylight in the top of the closet, v'yesh chevel biyado, the kosher erev, if there's a rope in his hand that's tied to the erev, even if it's sitting in the carmelis below 10, tocho shel migdal, you can still bring it to you through the inner part of the migdal, because I'm going only from a carmelis, which is below 10, as we said before. If it's 4 by 4 below 10, it's a carmelis. Right now, that challah there is sitting in a carmelis, and I can pull it to myself in the Rishus HaYachid. Why? Well, that is fine. And the answer is, there was none. There was no window, there was no rope, there's no nothing, and therefore, it's all good. Okay. So, what's so funny? Okay.
all these other times when we've said, oh, there could be this, there could be that, we leave it in play and we deal with it. Here we're like,
Okay.
Here we put up this case, and we just say it doesn't exist.
Forget about it.
we could have done that a few pages ago.
Okay, you got to ask that question legitimately. You have to go back to that case and see whether you're really right. But let's see Lishnach Rina. Maybe this will make us all a little bit happier. Lishnach Achrina Shemativ Iker, right? So I really could have pulled the rabbinic, whatever decision and just ignored this whole first thing, but I didn't do that, so we just plowed through it. But now, this is what Rashi does like. So whatever we learned right now, Rashi didn't like. He rejected it. So
Me too.
What? Okay.
I'm
not sure.
Asking too many questions on it.
Huh?
He didn't like it because people were asking too many
Yeah,
questions.
right, exactly.
It looks like he gives a long answer.
It was troublesome. Okay, but this is what I do like. Okay, Vikir. Neskavan lishbois b'rosh hamigdal b'rosh hashovech. Okay, he decides to dwell in the top of the migdal, top of the shovech. Ahaniach eruva b'kosakai. Okay, and this is what got me a little confused. Okay, with the first part, because we're still keeping the case. You put the challah in the wall. Okay, so we're not dealing with a challah in the migdal anymore. The challah is still in the wall. You're in the shovech. You're being a kona shvisa, but the challah stays in the wall. Aniach eruv b'koiselka uktani dahashta have a ip. Okay, uktani dahashta have a ipcha. The ilu maila miyud. So now we're learning a reverse problem. Meaning, if you put it above 10, if you put the challah in the wall above 10, and you are in your shovech above 10, because the migdal is right next to the kaisel, as that 34 indicates, right? And number 34. So the migdal is right next to the kaisel. So you're on top, doing your thing on top of the closet. The challah is right there within your reach. Okay, and you can bring it to you. Okay, and there is no break between you and the challah. Okay, but on the other hand, lamatim you're going betefach chi. Okay, but if the challah is on below 10, namely in the ninth, for example, in the ninth tefach, Ramakasalov, the Rishus Rabbin now, since people are using that particular place of 9 tefachim to hang their backpacks on and to rest upon, and that makes that 9 tefach area a Rishus Harabim. Right, that 9 tefach area Eruv ve'eruv, because now you can't go anymore from Rishus Yachid to Rishus Harabim, because as we know that's problematic. That's Chilul Shabbos. So that's the case now. So and that's how we understood it. Now we have a problem. Why, when you are in your above 10 and the Erev is below 10, the halacha is it's not a good Erev because I'm going to have to go through from Rishus Yachid to Rishus Harabim to get my challah accessible to me. Why would you say it's no good? You can just tilt the closet over. Okay, and where your abode was, all you got to do is tilt it lower, right? And bring it into the Rishus Rabbim area. The Neve Rosh Migdal Carmelis. Well, now the top of the Migdal becomes the Carmelis. The Rochav Dal V'Negev Yud. As the rules are, right? As let's have to remember these rules. If it's more than 4 and less than 10, that's a Carmelis. Okay, so I now made my place, my tower is my closet is now a Carmelis as opposed to Rishus Yachid. Being on top of a Carmelis, I now can access the Chala, which is in Rishus Harabim. Which is Rishus, right, below 10.
Below 10 is never mind. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I can access it because now it's no longer a Torah prohibition of going from Rishus Yachid to Rishus Harabim. It's now a rabbinic prohibition of going from Rishus Yachid to a Carmelis. From Rishus Harabim to a Carmelis. Okay, and that's all fine and dandy. And so why wouldn't...
You just stepped out of it.
What?
If you just stepped out of the closet, you'd be Rishus Harabim. And you take the challah, which is a Rishus Harabim.
It's even better. But I'm saying, but even if I'm top...
You don't need
Your
the
Mokum
closet.
Shvis is on top, though.
Exactly.
The what?
Your Mokum Shvis is on top. Your Mokum Shvis on top of it. That's the
Right, you
problem.
can't walk out...
Stepping out of it, you're still your Mokum Shvis is
You
still
got
problem.
2,000 amos, you can step out of it.
No.
No,
We're talking about the Eruv, where you acquire your abode
Yeah.
for Shabbos, in order to walk 2,000 more ramas,
It's from
has
the
to be able to access where the Eruv is. That's a critical question. The fact that outside Rosh Hashanah is not important. If that's where my Kona Shvisa was on top of that closet, that's where my Shvisa is. We're able to turn it into a. In other words, it's really the reverse of the basket. In the basket case, I move the challah. Here, I'm moving where I am.
You're moving your house.
Yeah. By tilting it over, I'm moving my house and making it into a Carmelis.
And you gotta
Okay.
stay there.
So the top of the closet becomes the top of the counter or whatever?
Yeah. Right. Right. I mean,
you can
it's
bring the challah to yourselves, right? You're staying
Yeah.
there. You have to stay there to eat it, right?
I have to be able to eat it. So
Yeah.
I can't eat it now. Right? If I'm on top of the closet,
Yeah.
okay, I'm good. I'm
Well, no, you're on top of the closet, you got a problem, because you can't, you'd be on the side, you think you're on the side of the closet, but the side used to be,
even if I'm by Aleph, right? That's where he
Get a
was.
seatbelt on. Don't
What's
worry.
the Aleph? Rosh Hamigdal Carmelis Rochav V'Negev Yud.
right, so how you
What?
gonna be
Rosh
on-
Hamigdal
Aleph
Carmelis
is
to
on the
Rochav
side.
Dalid.
You need a ledge there to sit on.
Well, whatever. I mean, yeah, that's I don't know. I mean, how am I sitting? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's you can lean. Well, you can lean against it, but the point is that's where I was Kona. That pointy
Right. Where the olive is.
where the Aleph is, I was Kona. That Aleph is accessible to the Challah, isn't it?
Well, if you walk along the side.
Right. So it's because I'm a Carmelis and the Challah Rishus Rabin, that should be good to go. So why not? So we had two answers. Okay. So again, this is.
This is worse.
Why? I think it's easier. I mean, because again, in the first case, where were you and where was the challah? It looked like it was, I don't know, to me that was much more confusing. Here, it's clear where the challah is, it's clear where you are, and it's clear that I should be able to access the challah by tilting over the migdol and moving my domain from a rishus hayachid on top to a carmelis below. I should be good to go now. So why can't I do that? Two answers. Either because you can't move it because it's nailed in, okay? So the first answer is very simple. You can't move it because it's stuck. The second answer becomes a little more problematic, where the answer is you're going to move it out of your dalaramis, and this is where the answer is, right? This really is the answer, that by moving the tower, the closet onto the floor, you're going to be moving it too far till you get below 10. You're going to be moving it too far away from where it originally was. Look at Rashi. You're now, where you are going to be on top is going to be more than 4 amos away from the challah. I can't get Ulasuyeh L'Rosh HaMigdol. Okay? I won't be able to access it, because in order to do so, I'm going to have to carry it 4 amos in the Rosh Hashanah. Inami, or else Nimsei Shvisasa mi Misrachekes Arba Mosav Rishonos. It also comes out that your shvisa, where you acquire your abode, in order to access it, is now 4 amos away from your original place of abode. It's not my place. I'm in a new place now. If you could have maneuvered it where I'm still within 4 amos of my original place, so there's two problems here. Problem number one is the 4 amis, and I had the same kasha, but you can go pachas with dalal amis. So you have to use the same answer, Michael. So that's a double theoretic. I have to move it down, and I have to be able to get it. So you have too much theoretics going on. One theoretical I can handle. Two theoretics I can't handle. I have to push the migdal down, and I have to be able to go pachas with dalal amis to get it. That's the first point of Rashi. The second point of Rashi is that where my shvisas makom is now 4 amas away from where it originally was, because the top of the closet was more than 4 amas away in its original diagram than where it is right now, and that's not acceptable. So that's why it doesn't work. All right, what about the rope and the thing? Mr. Chevel Kafsa Chaloin. Imesh Chalim Migdal. So the Gemara's question is, if there's a window in the closet, Keneged Mokum She'erev Sham, parallel to where the challah is. Ve'esh chevel cotton biyadin. I've got a small rope in my hand. V'kasher chevel be'erev bojom, and I tied it earlier in the day. I feel k'shubrishus rab lamata miyud. Even if that challah is below 10 rishus rab and rosh hasheni yeba migdal, and I'm on the top of the tower, on top of the closet. Then I should be able to bring it to myself. Why? The kivan the iguda biyado, since it's tied to my hand in ella. Mishum shvus, to take something with a rope from Rishus Rabim to Rishus Yachid, as that beautiful diagram shows, since it's connected into 2 different places, it's only rabbinic. Okay, when you take something, this is a big chiddush. When you take something from Rishus Rabim to Rishus Yachid with a rope that was connected before Shabbos, and I just swing it to me, okay. It's not a chil Shabbos deraisa. Ketanam b'reisha moitzi tefillin haykoi b'rosh hagag. As we're going to learn later on in the Masechta, if you're in the top of a roof and this galgel has seif from yado, and the sefer rolls from, we had this also in other Masechtas, and the sefer rolls outside, off the wall. I feel ba'aretz atzma, even if it rolls to the ground itself, goylet slow. I can roll the sefer back. So the top of the sefer Torah is on top of the roof. The bottom of the sefer Torah is down on the floor. In this case, the Sefer Torah is lying in an embarrassed state. I'm allowed to roll it. Alma, what do you see? If I'm holding one end and I'm rolling something to me from Rishus Rabim to where I am, if it's all one long item and it's still in my hand here, it's a shus b'amahu. It's only a rabbinic problem. Vasi alib the Rebbe, and this follows, of course, Rebbe d'amar lo gazu el shus ben hashmashos. So this pshat, at least I like it better. Michael maybe doesn't agree. What?
The code is why do you need the window?
Say it again?
Why do you need the window? Just put the rope on, pull it around.
They say you don't really need a window. The window's Rav Chadal, but just you could have done it even without the window.
Where's the guy who's?
You're right.
Where is he, on top up there? Where is he? Where's he sitting?
It's only sand there.
Yeah, he's bending down. I guess he's on top and he's bending down.
There must be another window
to pull it. No, I mean, yeah. I guess so.
There has to be a window.
That was the window that
Or,
didn't exist.
like
there's no
Yitzi
window.
said, you can pull it around and you don't really need the window. You just pull it around and get you to where it's on top. Shkoyach. Whoa.